puzzle as a core principle in your attack on the country, then your obvious hypocrisy must be pointed out. And I will point it out. Despite what the mouthpieces on the left, their media front groups have to say, and their lies about me. It was a legitimate point then, and it is a legitimate point today. So they say, Levin calls Sanders a racist. What I really called Sanders was a hypocrite. But maybe he is a racist. Maybe he is a racist. Because Donald Trump, when he first ran for president, of course he lives in very wealthy areas. But his main property, Trump Towers, his main domicile, far more diverse. I'm talking about the community. Not the condos, the community. Than where Bernie Sanders was living. Far more. Now, I want to move on to another topic here, but it's related. It's related. There have been things said about Rush Limbaugh, and I haven't talked to Rush. I'm leaving Rush alone. I'm letting Rush focus on what he needs to focus on. His life. His life. There are things that have been said about this man the last 48 hours that are the most loathsome, despicable statements and cheap shots by people like Jake Tapper, and they know exactly what they're doing. They got the Media Matters talking points. And if you go to Media Matters now, you will see link after link, post after post on Rush Limbaugh. They are furious that he got the Medal of Freedom. And so what do they do on the left? What do? They destroy. They don't create anything. They destroy. And the left include the media. Jake Tapper, CNN, and the rest. And the rest. Now what happened? There's a marvelous piece in the Federalist, and this is an outstanding website, by a gentleman named David Marcus. And he says, and I want to elaborate on this, but I want to tell you what he says, because that's what I do. That's what I was trained to do. Give credit where credit is due. And I read this piece, and it got me to do a lot of thinking. No, Rush Limbaugh's comments about Buttigieg are not homophobic. Questioning how Pete Buttigieg's gay marriage will play with the American voters is absolutely fair game for political commentators. Are we not now allowed to discuss the effects of somebody's lifestyles that they hold very public on the electorate might have? I'm not talking about making moral judgments even, because Rush didn't make a moral judgment. I'm not talking about making moral judgments. We're not allowed to call Bernie Sanders a Marxist, and he spent his entire life being a Marxist. You can't even call him a socialist. He spent his entire life being a Marxist. You can't call him a socialist. You're not allowed to discuss Pete Buttigieg's marriage when there have been very public showings of his marriage. In the American culture, I have more to say. We'll be right back.
Mark Levin.